Welcome to the Red Hot Mic. I am your host, G. Alfred Palmer. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being with me. And here's a toast to you and to all you are. The most from the host, G. Alfred Palmer. Pomegranate juice. Thank you for being here with me for this broadcast. I really do appreciate you highly. Believe it or not, I have been speaking for the last 24 minutes to no one but myself. I really have. But I'm going to cut out the preliminaries to get right down to it because I've wasted 24 minutes. So listen, I did talk about the whole idea of what we're doing here. And the thing is this, I am not an echo. I am not a parakeet. I've learned from some folks, but I'm going to be me. Some folks say, well, you dress kind of funny. Why the hats and the funny colors? This is who I am. I like colors. I like music. There's different aspects of me. There's different aspects of you too. We need to learn how to embrace those. So as long as they don't hurt community, culture, or clan. And as long as we do that, we'll be fine. But there is one thing I want to do that I did when there was no one watching. I'm going to try to do it again. And I want to introduce a new part of the program that I want to do. And I need you to just bear with me. And what you see here is what I call the answer circle. Now, in the answer circle, what I want you to understand is this. There's something out there. There's a question you have. There's something that you've been toiling with. You've been wrestling with. And the thing that you've been wrestling with it for some time. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the universe answer the question. I'm not going to answer it. I'm going to allow the universe to answer it and give you the answer. And if what you will hear is not me, I'm just going to just let the pendulum go. And the pendulum, the answers are yes, maybe, definitely, no way, try again, and ask a friend. So what is that question? What is that thing that you're going through that you need an answer to? That you need an answer that would change your life, the course that you're going on, and change the relationships that you're in. And the answer ball says no way. No way. No way. Whatever it is. A lot of times we say yes or no, but this says no way. No way to whatever it is that you're toiling with. You don't need to do that. You don't need to be that. You don't need to go there. Definitely not. No way. Not definitely not, but no way. No way that should you do that. Because in doing it will set you in bondage and other people as well. See, what we've got to understand is sometimes when we hear the answer to something that says no way, a lot of times because we want it to be a way, and then when we go into it and we find that it wasn't what we wanted it to be, what we do is we complain. We pray and we ask and we complain. Why didn't God intervene? God did intervene. Why didn't you listen? No way. No way, no way, no way. No way to do that anymore. No way to be that anymore. But see, here's the thing about no way that we must understand. No way says that it's no way, but it's a no way for that's going to benefit you and it's going to benefit someone else. It may hurt initially. You may not like it initially, but the bottom line is the universe is saying no way. It's time to do something differently. It's time to change. In the biblical narrative, it talks about repenting. Repenting means to turn 180 degrees, not 360. Somebody tells you that you need to turn 360. They're telling you need to turn around and go do and continue to go the same direction you've been going. No, you need to do a 180 and go in the opposite direction, right? That's what we need to do. So no way to what they're asking, no way to what they're doing, no way of what they're trying to make you be and do for them. No way. That's what the universe is saying to you. So tonight, embrace no way. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. I did. Another thing I wanted to share with you is I've started to look at different fragrances. Because as gentlemen, as men, we need to understand that ladies like that which smells good, right? Now the question is, do you smell good? And so I've got a new fragrance here that I want to share with you. And I tried it on earlier. It's called Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Pour Homme. Now, I did put it on before when I thought you were here with me, but you weren't. But that's fine. But I want to tell you about it. It is Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Pour I don't know. It is a classic cologne that draws its masculine power. And you hear that? It draws, fellas, masculine powers from a clever combination of sweet round mandarin, tart grapefruit, and smooth rosewood and pepper. Incense and vetiver, or I don't know how to pronounce that. Vtiver, vetiver. And it's so this is a very pleasant aroma. And it's again Dolce & Gabbana. And it is one of the scents that I've received. Now I've been getting these scents for over a year. I have a bunch of them, I really do. And I haven't been using them. I've been using a certain amount that have been introduced by certain content creators. And I have some of them over here. And we'll show you that table over here one of these nights. If we have some watches and some different things over there. And so what I want you to understand is that we need to smell, guys. We need to smell better. And so I'm really, really pleased with the opportunity to be with you. I have a question for you. I have a question that this particular ticker is continuing to scroll on the broadcast, and that is: can a masculine man and a strong feminine woman coexist? That's the question. Can they coexist? Can a masculine man and a strong feminine woman coexist? Well, I'm going to tell you what we're seeing right now in our community, culture, and clan. We're seeing confusion. And that's what I'm here to try to help clear and at least speak to. Maybe not clear, but at least to speak to. And to clear for those that would hear me. And those that won't, I wasn't talking to you anyway. But the bottom line is, when we start talking about the whole idea of can a masculine man, it's important that we understand the difference between a masculine man and a strong feminine woman. And this is the problem that we're having in our community, culture, and clan right now. We're seeing uh, we're labeling masculine men when they're not masculine men. They're not. They're males. Because as I've said time and time again, what we've got to understand is the difference in the development of a boy. A boy is born a baby, becomes a boy, and once he matriculates to malehood and then hopefully to manhood. But yet he doesn't always. And it's the flip side of that coin is that a girl or a girl is born a baby, a female, or I should say a feminine baby, which is a girl, and then she becomes a girl, a female, and then a woman, hopefully. But what we're having the problem is we don't understand the difference between boy, male, man, girl, female, woman. And as a result of that, what we're doing is finding ourselves in relationships with people that look a certain way, but operate in a much different paradigm. And so what we want to do is we want to be able to make better choices, to be able to identify things and make better choices. Because the bottom line is you chose him, you chose her. And as a result of that choice, you find yourself where you are. And if we can make better choices, now I'm a firm believer that we make better choices when we have more information. The more information we have, the better choices we make. So I'm going to be sharing with you from my trusty outline. Can a masculine man and a strong feminine woman coexist? Now, the thing that we've got to understand is this, that everything comes from, and I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it, because just because you heard it once doesn't mean that you really heard it. So what we've got to do is we got to make sure, and we got to continue, because what happens is we receive by continually hearing. The more we hear something, the more we're able to grasp. And even more so than that, listening and repetitively listening increases our chances of retaining something almost 80%. If you just listen one time, only 30. If you repeatedly hear it at least 7, 8 times, it's going to stick more, right? You'll have more. If you not only listen to it like 7, 8 times and write it down, it'll even be more. So it's important that you understand that maybe you need to get a pen and pencil out. Maybe you need to get a pen and pencil out. Yes, I have been a professor. I have been an adjunct professor. I've done all those things before. But and so what happens is all of your past experiences bring you to the point where you are. So all the things that I've done brings me to this point where we are right now. And so yes, there's some teaching going on, right? Okay, so let's look at this thing. Before we can understand, can a masculine man and a strong feminine woman coexist, we need to gain some equilibrium. And see, that's what's important and what doesn't happen often. We don't gain equilibrium because when we have an understanding of something and the other person has understanding of something, we have two different understandings. And so as a result, we can't come to common ground because we're not operating on the same premise. So what I want to do is introduce some terms that hopefully we can get on the same premise. Now, if we can't, okay, I get it. This is not for you. But if you can, this is for you. So I love words. I've always loved words, even as a young kid. Not that I was the best at, and it's interesting because in school I never gave my best. I never did. until reaching college, and then I started doing things a little bit differently. But I was I was at the bottom of my class in high school. I didn't do well at all. What saved me was athletics. That's the only thing that saved me to be able to go to college is that I could play basketball. But life is more than that. Matter of fact, one of my teammates is now one of my teammates has just this week I've been named as one of the uh, coaches, I believe, for the University of Louisville. We played high school together. Have lost touch with him, but I'm proud of him. Proud of you, Milton. Okay, so here's the deal. The origin, I want to talk about the origin of masculine and feminine energy. The origin of masculine and feminine energy. Now, we've talked about this time and time again, and we're going to keep talking about it because, belief comes by repetitive hearing. Hearing, not listening. There's a difference between hearing and listening. Listening is biological, and hearing is spiritual, biological, cognitive, and physical. It covers every aspect of an individual. So that's what's important, hearing. So here's what we need to understand. Everything comes from binary energy. When I say binary energy, that means two. Binary energy means that there's an alpha omega, there is a positive and negative, there's a yin and a yang, there is a masculine and feminine. Now, it's important to understand that the masculine and the feminine are not genders, but this masculine and feminine is something else. Let me back up. Let me define energy first. Energy is the strength, vitality, and the life required to sustain an activity. Okay, energy has to be expelled in order, and then what we have to understand is that energy is neither destroyed nor is it added to, right? It cannot be. It can only be transformed into another realm. It doesn't change though. And that's important. We're going to remember that because we're going to go into that a little bit later. But energy is important. Everything comes from energy. Everything comes from energy. If we were to look at, I don't care what it is, if we were to look at it at a molecular perspective, we will see it moving. There will be something moving. Why? Because it's energy. Energy that sustains it, created it, maintains it. So it's important to understand that energy is this is what we need to understand about energy. Energy comes from a source. Therefore, energy is a resource and not a source. Energy is a resource that comes from a source. Now, what is that source? Well, it depends on what you call it. It depends what you call it. You can call it the universe. You can call it God, the Great Spirit. You can call it whatever you want to call it. But there is a source that everything proceeds from. Okay? And so this energy is a resource. It comes from a source and it's a resource. And it's the strength and the vitality and life required to maintain activity. Energy. Now, this energy puts on the binary. The binary is either masculine or feminine. Now, I know some people will have some issues with that. If that's you, I'm not speaking to you. I'm not talking to you. Go on and do your thing, boo-boo. I'm not trying to interfere with anything you're doing. Go ahead and do what you're doing. I'm not speaking to you. I'm talking to the people that would understand what I'm saying when I say that there is a binary. There is binary, a positive and negative, an alpha and omega, a yin and a yang, a masculine and feminine. Okay, and it's important that we understand that. It's the importance of it is so critical that we have totally lost the idea of it. So let's look at this idea of masculine energy, because we talked about energy, but now it's masculine energy. So what is this masculine piece to the energy? What is it? Why is this important? Well, it's important because what masculine does is that it penetrates, it pierces, it injects, and it inserts. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? That means that in order for anything to enter this earth, it takes masculine energy, not feminine. Masculine, positive energy, initiative energy, insertive energy, injective energy, penetrating energy, piercing energy. Now, this energy has no gender. Hear what I'm saying? It does not have gender. It has function, and it has operational guidelines and purpose. It has operational purpose. Now, when this masculine energy, remember when I said that nothing dies or is decreased or changed. Only thing is it changes in how it appears, right? It's important for us to understand that the law of Sir Isaac Newton says that energy is not decreased or dies, but only thing that happens is it changes in how it is manifest. So we have masculine energy that pierces and comes into a sphere called Earth. But it has to change because this particular masculine energy cannot function in this element without some certain criteria. And the criteria that it has to have is called DMA. In the physical or in the biological, we call it DNA. But there's a DMA, design, mission, and assignment. That's important. Design, mission, and assignment. Say that with me. Design, mission, and assignment. Write that down. DMA, which is likened and the predecessor to DNA. So your design, mission, and assignment dictates to your DNA. Your DMA comes from your purpose. Your purpose comes from a mind, and the mind is the mind of the Creator. So let's talk about what happens when the masculine energy enters into this sphere. When it enters into this sphere, the masculine energy puts on masculinity. There's a difference between masculine and masculinity, because masculinity is a design. It's part of the design. So the man, see, that's what happens. The masculinity comes, and it comes in the form of masculine. Let me say it again. Masculine comes and enters and is turned into masculinity, and the masculinity is in the design of the boy. Now, the design of the boy is a direct reflection of the masculine. And the masculine dictates to the masculinity of how it's supposed to operate and to function in this sphere. How does it do that? Well, it shows that it still penetrates, pierces, injects and inserts. And we know that by the physical makeup or the design of the man, of the boy, of the male, of the boy baby. Okay? So the boy comes and he is in the earth. Now, it's important. Now, I have to say this, and I know some folks are not going to like it, but it's the only way that I can make it make sense. Now, someone may be brighter than me that may make it sound differently, but I can only be who I am. I can't be anyone else. Now, when masculine energy existed in the great beyond before coming into the sphere, there was also another side. And that other side is called feminine energy. Feminine energy. Feminine and masculine, that's the other side of the binary energies. So the feminine energy, unlike the masculine, the feminine energy receives, incubates, nurtures, and secures. Again, this energy is not gender. It's functional. It's what it does. It's how it functions and how it operates. It is not a gender yet. But it's important for us to understand this. Now, like the man who comes in and the masculine is turned from masculine to masculinity, when the woman comes, or the feminine comes, the feminine energy, it comes and becomes femininity. Femininity is the proper function and operation for a woman. Now, let's define woman. A woman is a wombed man, equal but different to the virtue by virtue of the womb. So that means she's equal but different. She's equal but not the same. So, I tell people all the time, you can have equal and not the same. 5 plus 5 equals 10. 6 plus 4 equals 10. They're equal but not the same. Right? It's the same thing with the woman and the man. Equal but not the same. Why is she equal? Well, let's go on. The woman, through DNA, does the same thing that she did when she was in the feminine phase. She receives, incubates, nurtures, and secures. And her design, mission, and assignment fit those very criteria. I'm hoping you're catching me here. I know somebody is. So she has this design. She is designed the way that she is to receive, incubate, nurture, and secure. Now, here's the problem. People don't understand the difference between masculine and masculinity, feminine and femininity. Understand this. Masculinity is a byproduct of masculine, and femininity is a byproduct of feminine. So femininity came out of feminine, masculinity came out of masculine. And those are the way that we are designed. Now, when we talk about design, we're talking about our physical build. Physical, we're talking about spirit, soul, and body. Actually, not so much spirit, because spirit is spirit and it doesn't take on gender. So it's soul and body, right? Because if it was spirit, soul, and body, we would have a gender, a spirit of masculinity. We don't. We don't have a masculinity spirit. We have there's a masculine and feminine energy that comes and operates in this sphere. But once we are finished operating in this sphere, we return as resources back to the source, no longer having masculine or feminine anymore. Okay, all right. So masculinity is a byproduct of masculine. Femininity is a byproduct of feminine. That's important to know. Now, what we've got to understand is that in this sphere, masculinity and femininity are the proper operational forces that have been assigned gender. They have been assigned gender. Now, when it comes here and it goes from masculine to masculinity and goes from feminine to femininity, it puts on design. And design is a physical body. And that's when it's either a male or female. So here's what you've got to understand. And I'm not judging anybody. I'm not. But there's two genders. There's male and female. And no one has chosen that for you but the Creator. So many people have failed and continue to fail to embrace their gender. And it's not always their fault. And I would dare say it's not their fault the majority of the time because they were not taught what is the proper way to function within their assigned gender. Now, we've talked about the functionality and the operation parameters for masculinity and femininity are the same as masculine and feminine in the cosmos. Same thing has to happen here. Penetrate, insert, inject, pierce for the masculine, receive, incubates, nurtures, and secures for the feminine or femininity in this realm. Masculinity and femininity in this realm. Now, again, we talked about the universe determines gender, not our parents. The universe determines gender. Why does the universe determine gender? Because the universe knows what you don't. The universe knows what I don't. And that is what your purpose is and the best way of how to fulfill it. The best way of how to fulfill purpose. Now, what is purpose? Purpose is the original idea and intent in the mind of a maker of a thing for the very thing before the thing was ever manufactured or even built. See, you're an idea. I'm an idea of the universe, God, creator, whatever you want to call it. But you are an idea from there. And so it's not up to you or to me, even it's not even up to your parents to determine gender. The only one that determines gender is the creator of a thing. The only one that determines the purpose of a thing is the creator of a thing. The creator of this glass determined that the purpose of a glass is to hold liquid. The creator of a microphone determined that the purpose of a microphone is to amplify sound. See, what we've got to understand is that purpose comes from the creator, and the creator determines not only energy, but also determines purpose and design, mission, and assignment. What we've got to learn to do is to find the purpose, embrace our design, mission, and assignment, and go about fulfilling purpose. Why? Because you are the answer to fix the problem here on this planet. You're the answer. Not President Biden. He's not. We're looking for people to supply answers that they can't. They're not designed for that. So I want to talk a little bit about, I want to backtrack and talk a little bit about equal but not the same. because it's this idea of us being equal that has, in a lot of cases, caused problems with people. So I want you to understand this. Men cannot be fulfilled without a woman. Man cannot be fulfilled without a wounded man. Why? Because the wounded man, the woman, is designed by virtue of this, by the design, to carry seed. Now, that seed is not just from a penis. What we've got to understand is she is a womb. She's designed to be a womb. That makes her so special. So special. Now, here's some things I want to say to men that you need to understand. Success alone isn't success. I'll say it again. Success alone isn't success. It's winning. And to whom the importance of winning is, he's not a man, but a male. I'll say that again. Success alone isn't success. It's winning. See, now, what we've got to understand is the difference between success and winning. There are plenty of ones that are winning, but you're not successful. Excuse me. You're not successful because successful is connected with purpose. You may be winning. You may be winning. You may have all the accoutrement. You may have all the material. You may have all the positions. You may have all the education. You may have all the degrees, the letters behind your name. You may be winning, but you're not successful. You're not successful until you find, form, function in, and bring into fruition your individual purpose. Anything other than that is not success. True success isn't materialism. It's accessibility. Here's why I say that. Success has been, by many people, measured by materialism. If you got money or stuff, you must be successful. And because you have money and stuff, what we do is we give you a platform when in all actuality, you're winning, but you're not successful. You're not successful until you find purpose. So what we do is we think that because they're winning, they're successful. No, they're not. What successful is a person who's fulfilling purpose. Listen, a man's success is found in vision. Sir, what do you see? What do you see? And what have you been seeing since a child? That's vision. That's vision. Vision is more than what a lot of people are having. Why? Because this is something that you need to understand. Men have visions. Males have dreams. I'll say that again. Men have vision. Males have dreams. There's a difference between men and males. Men operate and function differently than males. You have an alpha male, a beta male, and you have the metrosexual male, or whatever they call it. The omega male, whatever. But the bottom line, he's still a male. He's not a man. Because what determines manhood is development in the 8 elements that we talked about as a man matriculates from boyhood to malehood to manhood. But men are identified because they have vision. Listen, a woman will follow a man with vision. Why? Because his vision is seed. I know this sounds like preaching, but I'm not preaching to you. I'm giving you principles. See, principles are different than religious ideology, dogma, and mandate from religion. I'm just sharing with you principles. Principles supersede laws, rules, and ordinances. Right? A man has to have a vision. And if a man has a vision, he has seed. And if he doesn't have seed, he's not a man. He's a male. That's why we have so many males that are impregnating women, but they take them nowhere. Why? Because they have no vision. See, because being a man is more than being able to have children or to impregnate a woman. Because a man is able to impregnate a woman and have her incubate the seed of his vision. My. And you've got to find, sir, you've got to find a woman who's willing to incubate the seed of your vision. But you can only do that once you found purpose. That vision you have, that thing that you continue to see and have been seeing all your life, I get it. I've been there. But here's the thing. That thing that it still needs to be connected to purpose. Because if you don't, what will happen is you'll start doing good things, but it won't be the right things. There's a difference between that which is good and that which is right. The right thing is always good, but the good thing is not always right. You've heard me say this time and time again, haven't you? But the more you hear, the more you recognize it, didn't you? You recognize that you've heard it before. I get it. A man cannot fulfill vision without placing the seed of his vision in a woman capable of receiving it. If she can't receive your seed, she is not the right woman for you. She's not. But understand this, gentlemen. When you find vision and you find purpose, she will appear. She'll be drawn to you. Not because you look good or that you have all the accoutrement, but her yin to your yang will be drawn to you. And you'll hear, and your purpose will join together. You need her and she needs you. Oh my God. Ooh. You need her. You might say you don't. Okay, yeah, you don't need her physically to do this, that, and the other, but you need her to fulfill purpose. Ma'am, you need him. You say you don't need a man? Yes, you do. If you're going to fulfill purpose. And what we see in some regards, we see people going to churches and synagogues and mosques. And what we see is our women following behind the masculinity that's set up in that particular organization. Because her femininity yearns for a connection. No. It yearns for connection, but she wants connection with a man, with a masculine man, one that will penetrate, insert, right, and inject. That's what she needs. But no, today we haven't, and what are we doing that with? Vision. Not your penis, with your vision. And when you inject, penetrate, insert, or pierce her with your vision, what happens is, because of the way she's built, she will incubate that seed. That's the way she is. She's awesome. She's magnificent. She's God's greatest creation. Yes, she is. And so what she does is she incubates the seed. She nurtures the seed. She secures the seed, right? She's awesome. She's awesome. But this is a woman. This is not a female. This is a woman. Gentlemen, find women. A woman doesn't go out and dress scantily. A woman doesn't go out and she doesn't speak vulgarly. A woman doesn't go out and behave like a man. That's not what a woman does. A woman understands, well, we're going to talk about it. I'm getting ready to get to it. I'm getting ready to get to it. Okay, a woman cannot be fulfilled without a man. Just like a man cannot be fulfilled without a woman cannot be fulfilled without a man. A woman must place, you're not going to like this, but women will understand. A woman must put a man before everything. She must put her man before everything. Why? Because if she's putting her man before everything, she's putting his vision before everything. And she knows the importance of vision. It's not about the man, it's about the seed. Ooh. It's about the seed. It's about the vision that the man has. And if that seed, that vision, that purpose is the yin to your yang, she wants that. And she will receive that, nurture it, secure it, and incubate it. And she'll tell you different things on how to bring it forth. That's why you need to listen to her. She's a strategist. It's built in her if you got the right one. That's the problem. You got the wrong one who wants to boss you, who wants to usurp authority over you, who wants to minimize your masculinity because she desires to be masculine. And it's not her fault because it's the way she was reared. She lacked the proper guidance, discipline that was needed for her to properly invoke her femininity. Oh my. I don't know if you get anything out of this, but I am. I am, because this is downloaded. This is not me. It's really not. It's not. She understands her femininity and uses it wisely. Listen, women understand femininity. We call it feminine wiles, but what it is she understands the power of her femininity. And she invokes it and uses it, and she uses it to protect herself, to promote herself, and to do whatever she needs to sustain and secure herself. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. They say, a woman will use what her mama gave her and what her daddy made her. Well, that's feminine wiles. But it's been misused in females. Females will misuse because they haven't developed femininity to its full extent. So they abuse it. Anything that you use abnormally is abuse. It is abuse, and abuse is abnormally using it. And so what happens is she abnormally uses her femininity, and it becomes what we are experiencing now, feminism. Feminism is not femininity. Feminism is not feminine. Feminism is actually misandry. Look that word up. Look that word up. Misandry. I know. I'm trying to get somewhere with you. Is that okay? I'm trying to get somewhere with you. I'm hoping that you're getting something out of this. I'm really trying to get somewhere with you. Okay? Let me continue. A woman is a great strategist to help fulfill a man's vision. Fellas, we need her if you got the right one. But here's the problem. Most of us don't have the right one. She doesn't help us. She doesn't. If anything, she comes against your vision. She comes against it. She's not there to incubate it. She more than anything wants to abort it. She wants to abort it. And then sometimes she'll carry it to full term, but because she's not carrying it, she's not the right one. It will have the vision when it's given birth, it will have problems. It won't function right. There'll be something that it will have disabilities. Does that make sense? The other thing that you need to understand about a woman is that she will increase everything that's given to her in her womb. She increases everything. You give her groceries, she gives you what? A meal. You give her a house, she gives you a home. You give her a seed, she gives you a child. Everything she gets and she receives, what she receives, she increases. That's what a woman does. Females don't. Here's the other thing. A woman serves and doesn't seek to be served. Females want to be served. That's the idea of queens. Hot girl summer. Black girl magic. All these things. All these things. That's not womanhood, that's femalehood. She's not yet developed to become a woman. Queen? Queen of what? Of what? King? King of what? You're not no king. Here's what you have to understand. Here's what you have. You're not a king or a queen, but if you are in the proper place where you're supposed to be, you have what is much more valuable than being a king or queen. You have access. Access. You have access to the very things that you need to fulfill purpose. Now, why is that important? Because everything you're looking for as a king or a queen is found in your purpose. Stability, productivity, profitability, provision, all the things that you're looking for in being a king and a queen is found in purpose, legitimately and lawfully. That's strong medicine. Now, here's the question. I'm going to ask you a question. Who leads? The man or the woman? Who leads? Because I know about you. I don't know about you, but I know for me in church. Listen. I was Muslim. I was of the Nation of Islam. I was Catholic. I was Church of God in Christ. I was Baptist. I was Free Will Baptist. I was charismatic. I was full gospel. I've run the gauntlet of a lot of religions. And they want you to believe that the man is the leader of the home. Now, there's some truth to that, because anything that has two heads is not normal. It's not normal. Everything that operates normally has one head. And I'll leave it at that. Now, I want to share this with you. I have a book that says, "You Are a Leader." I did this book, I think, last year. And this book is talking about you are a leader, rediscovering the you that always was. Listen, you are a leader. All of us are leaders. You are born as a leader. Somebody, I don't want to be a leader. You are a leader. See, the problem is why you are afraid of being a leader is because you don't know where you're supposed to lead. You don't know what you're supposed to lead, and that's purpose. That's why you have to find purpose. Because if you find purpose, you won't be afraid to lead. It will be so natural. It'll be like breathing. Now, some people, but you have to find purpose first. Because once you find purpose, it helps you to establish boundaries, and it helps you to understand the difference between that which is good and that which is right. Right? So it helps us to exercise right over good. It also helps us to understand that it's important. Hear what I'm getting ready to say, because this is important. When you understand that you are a leader, you have a better understanding of the principle of right over the need to be right. I know it's tight, but it's right. The principle of right is stronger than the need to be right. See, there are men. No, they're not. They're not men. There are males that have a need to be right. And they will usurp that authority through misogyny and as chauvinists to push their agenda of being right. Or not right, but the need to be right. They push the agenda of needing to be right. Flip side on the coin, there are females out there that have a need to be right. And they'll do whatever they have. They will continue to question you. And when you answer the question, well, that's not what I meant. What I meant was, so they continue to turn and change the agenda until they are right, because they have a need to be right. But what we've got to understand is right has to be elevated over the need to be right. Now, when we do that, it won't matter if it's a man or a woman leading, because a man or woman won't be leading. That which is right will be leading. I know. Now, what is right? Right is that is for the betterment of all. Well, some people say, well, I mean, it does. I don't get everything I want. I don't want to compromise. I don't want to settle. Well, let's look at that idea of compromise and settle. The word compromise means an agreement or settlement of a dispute that is reached by each side making concessions. Excuse me. Compromise. Each side is making concessions. It's an agreement. An agreement. Agreement is very important. And we're going to talk about the power of agreement. The power of agreement is probably one of the most powerful forces on earth. Yeah, it is. It is probably in my estimation, probably the second most powerful, next to love. Agreement. But the defining of compromise. See, the thing about compromise is that we have to settle something. But here's the thing: settling something and the definition of settling is different. Okay, settling is resolve or reach an agreement about an argument or a problem. Resolve or reach an agreement. They sound the same, don't they? Don't they sound the same? They really do. They really do. But there's a difference between the two. See, compromise invokes two people. It's two people coming together, having an agreement. But settling is not two people. So it can't be an agreement. It's a preference or a lack of preference. You're not able to gain your preference, so you're saying, well, I'll take that. So it's not a preference. So it's not so much you agreeing or compromising. And the difference between the two is a mindset. It's mental development. Remember we talked about the 8 areas, the 8 elements of masculine and feminine development, right? And so here's an example. Here's an example. And so if we can't mentally, cognitively understand how and what the difference is between compromise and settling, we will always see settling as the glass being half empty. Compromise sees the glass half full. Nobody gets all that they want. No one. You know why? Because you are not all in all by yourself. That's why you need someone else. Because what you don't have, they have. That's why you can't have it all. In yourself, by yourself. You need someone else. Man, you need woman, woman, you need man. That's just the way it is. So who's the leader? Right is the leader. That which is right is the leader. Truth is the leader. And that's what we talk about in this book. That's what we talk about in this book. Go gapalmer.com. And we even have that one. I believe that one's on online. I think you can get an ebook for that. But anyway, I want to close by saying this. A man welcomes a woman, which by virtue of being a woman is both already strong and feminine. So the question is, can a masculine man and a strong feminine woman coexist? Here's the answer. A man welcomes a woman, which by virtue of being a woman is already both strong and feminine. By her being a woman, she is strong. She is feminine. She's not a feminist. She's not into feminism. She is into her femininity. So she is already strong and she is into her femininity. He realizes, being the man, realizes he needs her to fulfill his vision and purpose with passion. She understands the same thing. She needs him to fulfill her purpose as well. Women don't have vision. But we have these women out here now who says that, I'm a leader. Yeah, you are, but you're not a visionary. You're a strategist. You're not a visionary. You're not created to penetrate, insert, inject, right? Or to pierce. You're not designed that way. But we have we have females who have picked up traits. See, here's the thing. We got to understand the difference between how you're designed and how we pick up traits. There are females who've picked up traits, and these traits are masculine. They picked up masculine traits, and they operate and function that way. And as a result of that, they can't coexist with a masculine man. Two men are not going to coexist. It's not going to happen. So, gentlemen, I don't care how fine she is. I don't care. If she's masculine, it will only get worse. You don't want a masculine traded female. Ladies, you want a masculine man. You don't want a man that has feminine traits. You don't want a man that has male traits. You want a man, full grown, fully developed man who has already found purpose. When you find him, when you come across him, he should already be involved in doing and fulfilling his purpose. And when you find him, and when you see him, you'll know. And when he finds you and he hears you and sees you, it's not going to be about him seeing your lips, hips, and fingertips. It won't be about that. It'll be about this. It'll be about what you talk about. What person talks about the most is where their mind is. If they talk about money all the time, that's where their mind is. If they talk about clubbing all the time, that's where their mind is. If they talk about religion, that's where their mind is. But purpose isn't religious. Purpose, I'll say it again. Purpose isn't religious. It's human. It's human. Anyway, wow. That was a lot, wasn't it? Well, we didn't go too long. We didn't go too long. I've gone longer. But anyway, I want to thank you. I really want to thank you for this opportunity of being with you and sharing with you. I really, really honor it because you have given to me your most valued commodity, time. Your most valuable commodity, your time. And I thank you for that. Thank you so much. No matter when you see this, I thank you for taking the time of being with me for this time. I'm really, really grateful. I need your help. I need your help. I need you to subscribe. I need you to like, excuse me. I need you to like, share, and hit the notification bell. I need you to do that. I'll wait for you to do it right now. Thank you. You're so kind. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Now, what I want you to do is this. I want you to come over to my other station because I want to talk to you about some more about this on a deeper level. Not so much deeper, but because I'm not deep, but I just on a different level. You know, I'm reminded in the biblical narrative, and I'm not Jesus, but I believe that we operate and function like he is. Because as he was, we are in the world. So what I would ask you to do and to understand is this. I'm going to go into another level. It may be down, maybe up, but a different level on Purpose Sphere, the channel. And we talk about things from a different perspective. Okay. And so I'm going to ask you to come on over there as well. It is on YouTube. So come on over there as well. You're welcome to come. So I thank you once again for being here with me. And until the next time we meet, peace.
In our current global climate, we're facing challenges never before experienced by this generation. Oppositions where no one seems to have clear directions or answers to the risks facing us. Confrontations like racial and gender unrest, political gerrymandering, toxic leadership, economic crisis, global pandemic, health threats, pre-existing medical conditions, isolation, boredom, and loneliness are driving people to desperation. As a result, people are confused, afraid, anxious, and perplexed, and they need answers to some tough questions and even tougher situations. They are looking into different outlets for answers to gain assurance and consolation. Some have drawn closer to the embrace of family, while others look more towards their friendships, education, and even religion. What we need is a fresh voice of truth and clarity, and not a stale religious echo from the past. There's a re-emerging voice on the horizon that isn't afraid to stand alone and give spiritual and mentally sound direction to a world searching for answers. G. Alfred Palmer offers a voice of sound human development and empowerment to those willing to hear. There's a need for new ideas to old principles, a perspective from a timeless origin, but with current vision, a thought leader who understands what it means to stand alone and speak truth when some are hard of hearing. But if you've been waiting to hear a voice that opens the gates of freedom and breaks the shackles of confusion to allow you to step forward into the dawning of a new and exciting future, then it's time to bridge the gap with Dr. G. Alfred Palmer. He is a dynamic speaker, thought leader, and entrepreneur, equipped to elevate, expand, and extend the development, empowerment, and leadership of his audiences. He stands ready to speak at your next event. His delivery is guaranteed to refresh, entertain, and transform. G. Alfred Palmer bridges the gap from uncertainty to the purpose, to passion, and leadership. Book him today for your next event, and you won't be disappointed.